Well, first off, it's great to be here. I hope you're enjoying Florida. If you haven't moved here yet, I hope you move here for lower taxes, much better weather. So hope you're enjoying Orlando. So I just got in from Washington, and I want to make sure you're all aware of President Biden's new slogan: open borders and closed schools. As you may know, my colleagues recently voted for me to be the chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. So you know what that really means. It really means that my Republican colleagues in the U.S. Senate, they have to hate me. Right? You have to raise $1 gazillion, and now you have to navigate all the infighting in the Republican Party. Sounds like a lot of fun, right? Should be pretty easy. So now many people are saying that my job is to mediate between warring factions on the right and mediate the war words between the party leaders. Doesn't sound like much fun. Well, I've got some news for you. I'm not going to mediate anything. Instead, I'm going to fight for our conservative values. I'm going to do it boldly, and I'm not going to apologize to anyone for what we believe in. I'm not going to spend 1 second going backward. We're going to look forward, and we're going to fight for our conservative values and principles, and we're going to do it boldly, and we're not going to apologize to anyone. Why do we do it? Because it's good for every American family. I will spend every day talking about how Democrats are an absolute mortal threat to our freedom, to our prosperity, to our way of life, to our families, and the future of the United States of America. We are going to go right at these radical left-wing fanatics every second, and we're going to expose them for exactly what they are. We're not going to stand down, and we're never, ever going to retreat. Now, let me make sure there are 3 things that are abundantly clear right up front. First, both of the impeachments of President Trump were nothing more than unserious political vendettas and political theater. This last charade should have been conducted at the other end of Washington at the Kennedy Center instead of the U.S. Capitol. It was a waste of time and money and was all about politics. Second, President Trump did something that has never been done in our lifetime. He stood up to all of establishment Washington and said, no. No, I will not accept business as usual. No, I will not allow any bad trade deals that favor Communist China and hurt American workers. No, I will not cozy up to Iran or back down from supporting Israel. No, I will not support unnecessary foreign wars or giveaways of American treasure or lives. No, I will not stop pushing for secure borders. And no, I will not accept your political correctness or the push to silence conservative voices in America. Now, of course, President Trump has flaws, I have flaws, we all have flaws. I've known him for many years. By the way, you can make sure when he speaks, or he'll probably call me tomorrow, he'll say, nice speech, Rick, except for that part about that he had flaws. You know that's going to happen. But look, it was high time for someone to go to Washington and say no. And I'm thankful and glad that President Trump had the guts to do it. Third, the Democrats control all the levers of power in Washington. And the new left no longer believes in any tolerance in the promise of America that our nation was exceptional, or in the American dream. It's time for all of us to wake up to reality. They want to silence you. If they can silence a former president, what makes you think you're not next? They want to take away your freedom of speech. They want to take away your religious liberty. They want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to get you fired from your job. They want to get your bank to drop you. They want to make you unemployable in the future. And you know what? They've got a lot of friends in corporate America that are absolutely willing to help them. They don't simply want you to silence conservatives. They want to destroy us. And yet, in the face of this mortal threat to our nation, our very existence, some prefer to fan the flames of a civil war on our side. That's foolish, and it's ridiculous. We have absolutely serious work to get done. We don't have time for that. Let's be honest. The Washington establishment breathed a sigh of relief when President Trump left town. There are plenty of people in Washington who are hoping that we can go back to regular order, go back to where the Republican Party used to be. They want to retreat to a safe space. Look, we can go backwards. We can go to dial-up internet. We can go to flip phones. We can go to typewriters. This is absolutely not the time to go backwards. We have in front of us massive challenges and massive opportunities. I'm going to focus on the massive opportunities we have. We will not win the future by trying to go back to where the Republican Party used to be. If we do, we will lose the working base that President Trump so animated. We're going to lose elections across the country, and ultimately we're going to lose our nation. We're not going to let that happen. Now let me paint you a picture of where our adversaries want to take this country. Let me describe for you what the price of failure is. If we fail, our children will learn that throwing a brick through a shopkeeper's window and looting the store Well, that's a mostly peaceful protest. The left will tell our kids it's actually the right thing to do because of the terrible oppression in this racist country. If we fail, how many selfless police officers are still going to be around to protect us and put their lives on the line once we've demeaned and defunded them? If we fail, our armed forces, they're going to use the politically correct pronouns that Pelosi asked them to do, but our military is going to cower in the shadow of communist China. Communist President Xi, he said he hopes for a win-win. Oh, there's going to be a win-win. Hunter Biden's going to win and get richer. And as communist China wins, it becomes the most powerful country in the world. If we fail to lead our country into the future, Democrats will lead us into the past, eroding our economy and our culture, and we will become another decaying example of socialism. Let me say that again. If we fail to lead our country into the future, Democrats will lead America into the past. They'll ditch capitalism, even though capitalism has lifted more people from poverty to prosperity than any idea in American history. Calling someone a capitalist will become an insult. In fact, it already is on some college campuses. But don't worry, in their phony Washington-run utopia, Chuck Schumer will tell you what kind of work you're allowed to do. AOC will tell you how you're allowed to do it. Nancy Pelosi will tell you how much you'll be paid for it. And Kamala Harris will tell you how little you're allowed to keep after you pay your, quote, fair share. In a socialist system, politically incorrect thought can't be tolerated because truth can't be tolerated. So don't think out loud. Don't suppose you have freedom to worship or that the churches they closed down during the coronavirus are essential. Don't complain about men, women, women's sports. Don't think you have the right to bear arms. Like socialist dictators, our adversaries will confiscate your weapons. If any of this sounds impossible to you, you've got to wake up. This stuff's already happening. I had a reporter the other day ask me a typically uninformed question. He said, do I believe that in order to appeal to more voters, we need to moderate our values or compromise on some of our principles? My response, hell no. Just the opposite. I believe we need to start acting like we really believe our principles. America, with all of our shortcomings, is the greatest country in the world. America is, in fact, not racist. We need to stand up and say, our fundamental principles are not only right and true, they are the only ideas that work. We choose our children's education. We respect our law enforcement. We thank God every day for our freedoms. The American family is an idea that works. We believe family should be the center of our lives and is crucial to civilization. Religious liberty is an idea that works. But Democrat mayors and governors say you can protest, but you can't go to church. Our flag, that's an idea that works, if we all respect it. It's why my father chose to put his life on the line and serve this country in World War II, and why I had the opportunity to serve in the U.S. Navy. Unlike many of the woke athletes in the NBA and the NFL, we stand for the flag. Why is our nation so divided? Well, our unique individual differences as human beings become divisions without our flag, our national anthem, and our unique American identity. Our nation's founders were brilliant men who designed a system that works. It's the best system of governance in world history. And the memories of the men who built it must be honored, and we will never allow our history to be erased. We believe strong borders work. Individual responsibility works. We believe our children have the right to be born and go to the school of their choice. School choice works. Lower taxes work. The Second Amendment works. Funding our police works. Capitalism works. Standing up to communist China dictators, buying American, and shutting the door to communist Chinese products, you better believe that works. We believe that freedom, not socialism, is always a new idea. These are our principles, and we will never compromise or moderate them to appease anyone. We care too much about each of our families and our countries to compromise or appease. These principles can and will lead us to a majority coalition in America. Are we perfect? No, but we are free to repair our faults. And the conservative principles that beat in our hearts are the only ones that actually lift people to better lives and build a great and compassionate nation. But the left's so-called progressive ideology, that old, broken-down idea called socialism, has not only never worked, it has destroyed more countries, families, and lives than we can count. Venezuelan children are starving today. That's socialism. Refugees are risking their lives today to flee Cuba's squalid hospitals, rationed food, and relentless oppression. That's socialism. Communist China is jailing and murdering its own citizens today because they've spoken the truth about the Wuhan virus. That's socialism. Let me leave you with this. We have generations of young people who have effectively been brainwashed by the liberals who have captured our education system. They're now attempting to capture the boardroom of every corporation and even our military leadership. Many of these young people were not taught our real history in middle school, high school, or college. They think socialism is a cool new idea. Think about that. The most disastrous and discredited idea of the 20th century, an idea that always leads to poverty and oppression. They think it's as new as the iPhone 12. It's now on each of us to explain why the Democrats' old socialist plans are a coming disaster. We've got to explain why globalist socialism is destined to fail even more spectacularly in today's fast-moving world than it has in the past. That is what I'm going to fight for. That is what I'm asking you to fight for. Our battle to win the future starts today. In Washington, they're doing the opposite, looking backward and forming a circular firing squad. They're busy assigning blame and avoiding responsibility. You and I don't have the time to waste going backwards. The people in Washington have that covered. All we've got is us, the power of our ideals, and the truth. And that is plenty. Now it's time to get to work, making this great country better than it has ever been. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless this great nation. Have a great day.